Grand Rising, let's have a little chat, shall we? Let's have a little occult chat, and this won't really be a rant or anything like that. When I get into my spirited occult rants, sometimes my voice goes up and people think, oh, he's angry. No, I'm passionate. That's my spirit. And, I have to remind people of that concept um, all the time, you know? So, no, no, no. I'm going to tell y'all something. When you need an energy boost or you need, let me adjust. All right. When you need an energy boost or you need something to boost your energy really, really good and it's healthy, get you some raisins. Raisins do the body motherfucking good. And they taste good too. I know a lot of people don't like raisins and prunes and stuff, but I eat dry prunes. I eat dry raisins and shit like that. But anyway, I wanted to talk about positive energy. And this video won't be very long, but I wanted to talk about this word positive and the other flip side of it, which is negative. Because in order for things to be positive, here's something that people are not ready to hear. In order for something to be positive, sometimes it has to be negative. Because positivity is the light side of negativity. Negativity is the darker side of positivity. So what I'm saying is that they're really both the same thing. They're the same thing. And I'm beginning to shift how I view positivity because how, oftentimes we view positivity, we view it under the lenses of humanity. And we view it under the lenses of everything being good in our lives. But the thing is that sometimes what we think is good is actually not. And what we think is negative is actually not negative. Okay? So how can I go with this? So one must understand that positivity is just a lighter side of negativity. And negativity is a darker hidden side of positivity, and both are necessary. Both are necessary. And I know people may say, and let me be clear, I don't mean that you should put up with a flood of toxicity. We're not talking about toxicity. We're talking about balance. There's a difference between negative energy, toxicity, and what people would call, I guess you could say, really, really heavy, low vibrating energy. Those are two totally different things, okay? And that's where I wanted to go. See, spirit always leads me back. So your subconscious mind, that is what they mean when they say let God and let go. Let your subconscious mind lead you. Your subconscious mind is your spirit, and that will never fail you. But here's what I wanted to say. Both of those things exist because they keep a certain balance. They keep a certain balance. And without that balance, there would be it would be worse than what it is now. Okay? And there was a point that I wanted to make that slipped me. It'll come back to me. It'll come back. But you have to understand both. And you have to operate in both. And like I said, this is not excusing toxic, low vibrating emotions. That's where I wanted to go. The reason that this world seems to be flooded with so much what people would call negative energy, it's not really the negative energy, it's low vibrating. And low vibrating negative energy, this is what you're going to get. Which is what a lot, well, let me put it to you a different way. Let me put it to you a different way. The world, that includes that dumb fuck black occult conscious community, that homophobic black cult conscious community, and I wasn't even trying to say cult, but that just came out. All of that, see, that was spirit revealing and exposing. All of that, the world, politics, the music industry, all of these things, religion, fake false religion, all of these things are ran by low vibrating entities. Okay? Very low vibrating entities. And these entities are connected to low vibrating people. Because the people who are put on, who we think are all this and all that, oh, they're the president, oh, they're this, or they're a high level government official, so they must be tapping into something high level. No, they're not. This world is run on illusions and low vibrating energy. But some people who are more of a higher frequency incarnate on this planet to try to help others to raise their frequency. And some of those people do become celebrities and stuff like that, some of them, because that is the only way that they can really help to raise the vibration and frequency. But what ends up happening is that those types of people, they get killed off or they get ostracized, similar to what they did to people like Michael Jackson and Billie Holiday. Who else can who else comes to mind? And so many others. They will destroy them and take them off of their, off of their path. And you don't have to be a celebrity. I mean, some of them do come down as celebrities. Not all celebrities are fucked up. We're not going to say that. But remember, it's about balance. So this world is mainly run on low vibrating frequencies. But those of us who are really conscious and to understand the expansion of consciousness, you have to understand the dynamic of positive and negative energy. And negative ain't bad, and positive ain't always good. And we have to understand that. I always like to use that analogy of what I've heard some people use, which is a good analogy. I didn't come up with this, but toxic positivity. And toxic positivity is when people think that you're not supposed to respond to someone doing something of a lower vibrating nature. You're supposed to just smile and just keep it moving, and everything will be okay, and everything is hunky-dory, okay. You slap me in the face, I'm not supposed to slap you back. I'm just supposed to keep going. No. Somebody slap me in the face, I'm gonna knock their motherfucking teeth out, or try to chop their head off. And I don't care who it is. You put your hands on me, I'm gonna destroy you. That's my response. That's my response. Now, everybody else got their own response. But I'm a mean old motherfucking queen, honey. And when I say queen, I don't mean like, a woman sitting on a throne. I'm talking about as far as gay. I'm a mean motherfucking malicious, vicious queen, child. Very vindictive. I'm a vindictive motherfucking Virgo if you cross me. But see, that is the darker side of positivity. Because most people think I'm just a nice guy. Most people think, oh, he's a nice guy. But that's because they haven't crossed me. And I'm not the type of person that's going to physical stuff, because you can get locked up for that, because I've mastered how to do shit spiritually. I've mastered that. I know how to get at motherfuckers spiritually. So because I know how to defend myself spiritually, I don't have to lay my hands on people. People say fucked up shit to me to try to fuck up my spirit or try to, cause a reverberation within my energy. Oh, I know exactly what to do. I'll have a smile on my face and I'm doing work on them in my mind the entire motherfucking time. And that rhymes. I'm doing work on them in my mind the entire time. So there is what people call negativity is a necessary component in this world that we live in. And truthfully, we come down here to study negativity and to live amongst it so we can study it, because we are expanding our consciousness, our spirit, our soul. We're expanding those things. That is why we go through the things that we do. But what happens is we get caught up in this loop of thinking that we're supposed to be like this or we're supposed to be like that. No. You are your own unique individual. You have your own unique dynamic. And I'm going to tell you something. I think that one of the greatest fears, one of them, there are many, but I think that one of the greatest fears that people have is realizing that what you're putting your focus on out there in the fakeness and all of the fake universe. I think once people start to expand their consciousness beyond and realize that out there really is not out there. But when you start to internalize and go within here, and I'm pointing to my chest, which is your mind, your heart. When you start going within there and start, going within your own innerverse, and you disconnect from what you thought you knew, I think that process is one of people's biggest fears. Letting go of what they thought they knew. And once you realize that you are a self-created deity or titan, and that your mind is eternally universal, and I use the word universal, your mind is eternally universal. I think that is the greatest fear, that realization that a lot of people have, because it's so massive. It's so massive. And a lot of people cannot download a lot of that. They can't take that. See, I can take it, because I've been around for billions of years. I'm not a new or middle spirit. See, a lot of these spirits are middle spirits. See, I'm very old. I'm very old in soul years, spirit. I'm very old, very ancient. And I don't say that to say that I'm up here and other people are down here. No, it's nothing like that. I'm just very old. And I've seen so much. And that is how I know my soul has experienced so much. That is why a lot of times when people say and do fucked up shit, or think they're doing fucked up shit to me, I'm like, it may bother me for a while. It may bother me for a little while. But then what I will do is I'll say, you know what? That person is hurting. That person got problems. That person, they're on a lower frequency. And being on a low frequency doesn't make you a bad person. Being on a low frequency means you just can't hear anything and you just can't see anything. It's like being blind and deaf. And when I say blind and deaf, I'm not talking about people who have physical handicaps. Let me be clear, because some of those people are fucking brilliant. The people that have actual physical deaf, that are handicapped because of their deaf, or they're blind, or hearing, or visually impaired. That's the more appropriate word to use, so you won't be offensive to people. Those people, some of them are brilliant and they're geniuses, and that's because they're actually operating on a higher frequency. They just can't see physically or hear physically, but they're operating on a higher frequency. I'm talking about people that have full vision, physical vision, and can hear physically. So let me be clear. When you are on a lower vibrating frequency, you simply can't hear and you can't see. What can't you hear? You can't hear the higher frequencies. You can't see the higher frequencies. You can't pull information, and you can see it in people's attitudes. You can see it in how they act. There is no balance within them. It oftentimes shows up as well in how they treat and how they interact with other people. They use other people as pawns in their games. They use other people for ulterior motives, and they lack a consciousness. And when you lack a consciousness, you lack a spirit. And that pretty much sums up my opinion how a lot of those fake black occultists are in that black occult community. That sums up, and I'm talking about the men mainly. The men. All they do is post other people's information, mostly. Plagiarizing other people. And they think that they're conscious. My question is, when are you going to come up with your own concepts? Because that is where spirit comes in. Everybody wants to be a copycat. See, what I'm talking about now, for the most part, I may reference other people because they may have said something that stuck out to me, but for the most part, I come up with my own concepts. And those fake motherfuckers over in that conscious community, they don't really like that too much. That's why they had to, that's why people like that, they don't keep them around them too much, because they don't want those people to start exposing their fakeness. Because see, when you walk in light, when you carry a certain light frequency, you can expose people. So what happens is these lower vibrating people, when they realize that you can expose them with your light and with your frequency, what they will do is they will find reasons to separate from you. They will find reasons to find fault with you, because you will have fulfilled in them what they thought you could not. They will see in you what they thought did not really exist. You understand what I'm saying? Once they realize, this is what people do, and this is along the same lines of what people call narcissism. A lot of low vibrating people are narcissists. And I think we all have a trait of narcissism in us, because we are everything. But the thing is that you don't go, but see, when you do too much of anything, it lowers your vibration and your frequency, because balance True balance is a higher frequency. Balance is high vibrational. It's all about balance. Without hate, there would be no love. Because love, I'm sorry, how can I put this? Sometimes hatred can turn into love. You understand what I'm saying? Sometimes people that you don't even like, people that you don't even, the people that you may have I've heard these stories, people that hated each other, they ended up falling in love. You see, that happens. Because there's a balance there. And I'm not promoting no hatred. I don't want people to misconstrue what I'm saying. I'm not condoning no hatred. People they misconstrue shit and they get shit twisted up in their mind. I'm not talking about human stuff. I'm talking about how spirit and energy works. And like I told you, hate is never about not liking somebody spiritually. Hatred is about pain. Hatred is about pain. It's about lifetime after lifetime of pain and suffering. That's what hatred is really about. These are my concepts. Don't nobody have to follow them. So that's what I'm saying. When these people, and it doesn't have to be people in no conscious community, but people in general, when these types of low vibrating people, when they see your frequency and your light, because they'll see it, they'll see that much. When they see that and they realize that you could possibly be the one to expose them, then this is what narcissistic low vibrating people will do. They will find ways to discredit you, to try to devalue you, and they may not even do it directly because a lot of them are cowards. A lot of these people are cowards. They're not real G's. They're not real motherfucking niggas. They're cowards. Because a real G and a real motherfucking nigga will come to you and say, you know what? I got an issue with this like I do. I got an issue with this, this, and this. But I have to remember, I'm dealing with a bunch of broken, bitch-ass motherfucking niggas. A bunch of broken, bitch-ass niggas. No matter what you see on the outside, I'm going beyond that where it really counts. Where they can't hide. See, I've never been how can I put this? I've never been a person, I can physically fight if I need to, but I've never been the type of person to fight physically. Most of my wars with people have been spiritual. That is where I do my best work. That is where I do my best work to really take down people who have done things to harm my spirit. I believe in justice. I don't like saying revenge because to me, revenge is not good enough. I want justice. Justice is permanent. Revenge is temporary in my view. Justice is permanent. And when you get justice, there's no coming back from that. And a lot of people want justice. And low vibrating people, they don't understand that. So going back to what I was saying originally, this world is not really negative per se. It's just run by a bunch of people that don't know. They don't know. And they cultivate the licentious pleasures of the world. They cultivate materialism. That's what a lot of those niggas do over in the conscious community. They're only worried about selling you a product. They don't give a fuck about who they harm or whose feelings they hurt or the effect that their actions may have on someone's spirit. and the reverberation that that may cause a person. They don't care anything about that. And that is what black men in this culture, unfortunately, have become. They don't care about their actions. Not all black men. Not all. Let me be clear. Not all. I'm talking about these weirdos online. These weirdos online. These American black men weirdos who sit up and degrade other black people, harm other black people with their energy, and then call themselves conscious or occultist, or say that their heart is light as a feather. I saw an interview, a part of it, with some people, and this woman called into the interview, this sister called in, and she was digging in this other dude's ass who's supposed to be a well-known conscious person. I ain't gonna mention his name. And she dug in his motherfucking ass. She said, all you do is sit up and talk negatively about black people all the time. And you're black. But when you first came out, you were talking about how much you love black people and this and that and that and this. And then he, like the coward that he is, he ran off of that motherfucking live. That's what I'm talking about right there. That's what I'm talking about right there. This is the type of low vibrating, cowardly, narcissistic energy that this planet is run on. Even with Wendy Williams, people are so low vibrating that they can't see that that video, that fake video, well, it's not a fake video, but well, y'all know what I'm talking about. There was a video posted yesterday of an alleged conversation between Wendy Williams and her son. I don't think that was her son, because she didn't refer to the person who was recording as her son. She referred to him as my son, or no, I'm sorry. She referred to the person as someone other than her son. You have to look up that video. That was not a recent video. That was an old video, probably from a few years ago. Because she didn't even, if I'm not mistaken, she didn't even have on a mask. Now, people will say, well, she was on the beach, you know, and she was in Florida, allegedly, in this video. She was in Florida, and it looked like it was around hurricane season. The conversation did not seem recent. And nobody in the comments section questioned the validity of that video. They just took it at face value. That's low vibrating, when you can't see and when you can't hear. And when I say can't see and can't hear, I mean spirit. Now, we're not going to always see everything, don't get me wrong. But if you can tune in, if you can use maybe 1%, see, that's what the 1% is all about. When you can use that 1%, you're in, you're good. You feel what I'm saying? People didn't even question it. That's low vibrating. There are so many low vibrating people with money and fake illusionary power. There are institutions that are low vibrating. And these institutions are the institutions that are running this world. So that is why I say the earth is not a prison. It's not a prison. The prison is your mind and the low vibrating frequency that your minds are operating off of. That's the prison right there. The prison system has become your mind because you don't know how to free your mind. You don't know how to do it. And I'm not talking to the people that are watching me. I'm talking to those who need to hear this message. Nobody can free your mind but you. You have to use mantras. You have to use affirmations. You have to use all of those things to help reprogram your mind. You have to create a ritual. And a ritual is repetitive. It's something that you do all the time. I have my own rituals that I do. You have to create your own to deprogram and reprogram your mind. Because right now we're operating on the low vibrations of fear right now. Fear of COVID, fear of this, fear of war over in Ukraine. All of these things, see, these are low vibrating people running the world. It ain't got nothing to do with negativity. See, negativity has its place, just like positivity has its place. We're talking about low vibrating people, entities, and energies, whatever you want to call it. Now, I would take that what is it? That verse in the Bible when it says that we're not dealing with flesh and blood, we're dealing with spiritual wickedness in high places. No, it's not in high places. It's in low places. They may have high institutional positions, but these people don't have no spirit. They're operating from a low place. And we believe they have spirit because of the illusions that they put out. Because they'll put somebody in front of you and say, this is the person that you should follow. This is the Dalai Lama, for example. This is who you should follow. You got to follow this person dressed up in all this Indian garment and all this old bullshit. You know? That is why I always say that Bobby Hemmett was a breath of fresh air. When I started watching his stuff, he was a breath of fresh air because he had a pure heart and he had no ulterior motives. And he told the darkest truth from the lightest motherfucking places. And he really helped to shift black people's consciousness without motive, without harming a person's spirit, because he did not get personal with people and then devalue them and throw them away. He kept it motherfucking 100 because he was a high vibrating motherfucking person. Unlike these lower vibrating people who really look for validation through the people that they claim that they're, I'm not going to even say claim that they're helping, but they look for validation. They're looking for energy from people. Like me. Be my friend. And then the moment that you have a disagreement with them, they'll throw you away. Those are low vibrating people. They throw you away because your light outshines theirs. And it's okay if someone has a bigger light than you. I think that some of the younger, like my play little brother over in the UK, I think his light shines just as bright or even brighter than mine. Because as you get older, your light dims anyway. Your light dims anyway. And it's supposed to go to the next generation or whomever you have that connection with, on a conscious level. This is not about family and all of that, This is about consciousness, who you connect with on a conscious level. That's what this is about. This is not about blood, or genetics. Even though I'm talking back to my family, I still understand that they have issues. And I still understand that there are certain conversations I can't have with them. Just like last night, I was talking to one of my cousins, and I can still hear in her that low vibrating frequency. And and let me say this, just because you are on a lower vibrating frequency, it doesn't make you a bad person. This is not about bad and good. There are people that are on low frequencies that were once on high frequencies, but they got lowered down. Let me say it to people like this. You know that song by what's his name? That guy, I can't think of his name right now. But he sung this song, "We fall down, but we get up. For a saint is just a sinner who fell down." You know that song. For the Christians who listen to me, you know that song. That's the same concept. They fell down to a lower vibrating frequency. That's all. But you can always lift yourself back up. You can always lift yourself back up. That's the truth. And I saw a comment, and this comment, I wish I remember who said this. It was under a video where I was watching this lady. It was a black woman who won a lot of money in the lottery years ago. And people have to understand too, all poor people are not good people, and all rich people are not bad people. Let's be clear about that. I even had to come to terms with that. Just because you're a poor person without money does not mean that you're good and means that you're a victim. There's some really fucked up people without money who are just fucked up individuals. Just like there's some rich people who are really good-hearted people. And again, it's all about the energy that you are tapping into. It's all about the frequency that you can hear. And just because you're a good person doesn't mean that you're on a high frequency. Just because you're a bad person doesn't mean you're on a lower frequency. These are things. It just simply means what you tune into. And the bad people that are on higher frequencies, I don't think they even give a fuck about people truth. And when I say bad, let me define bad and good. Let me define what I mean. I'm not talking about being a bully. I'm talking about people who simply just don't have any boundaries. Who just don't have any boundaries. That is what's considered bad. And people or entities that just don't respect your boundaries. If that makes sense. So you can be on a higher vibration and still be looked at as not being so-called good. But like I said earlier, good and bad, good and evil, positive and negative, they're all part of the same energetic frequency. And everything keeps a balance. Everything does. Without Satan, there would be no God. Because in actuality, God and Satan are the same person. Christ and Satan are the same person. And I don't give a fuck who get mad. Christ and Satan are the same person. Even the Bible says that. But they don't tell you that that's what that means. But you have to interpret it. What it's telling you is that all of these things exist within you. We are bad. We are good. We are evil. We've done evil things. Do you really think that you have not had past lives where you've done evil, fucked up shit? We all have. In one of my past lives, I used to be a cult leader. I was a white man cult leader that tormented his other motherfucking followers. And I normally don't talk personal about my shit, but I was a cult leader in the 1920s in California, of all places. I was similar to that, see, I can talk about this because I know it. I was similar to that movie, Lord of Illusions, where that cult leader was still tormenting his followers even after he died. Well, I was that movie was about me. You know, not the movie, and I ain't crazy. The movie wasn't about me, but it's a similar aspect of a past life that I experienced, where I was a cult leader. I was a white man, and I was a cult leader, and I wasn't a good person then, or a so-called good person. But you have to remember, as your spirit and your soul evolves, it gives me chills even thinking about that now. That aspect of me and who I was. It gives me chills even thinking about that. That's how you know that spirit. But as you evolve and as you as you learn more, you do better. That is how I know what I know. And that is why when I was coming up, when I was a teenager in this life, when I was growing up, I had like an interest in cults. I wanted to know, how did people get so involved in cults? Well, that was my spirit and my soul saying, that's because you was a motherfucking cult leader at one time. This is part of who you were at one time. And you're re-examining it, not to get back into that, to be another cult leader, because I learned from that. I learned from hurting people. So when I hear people say that their heart is light as a feather, and they are hurting people, and they don't care that they're hurting people, and I'm talking about you black men in that occult black community, when your actions hurt other people and you don't care that it hurts other people, you're not learning anything. You're going to have to come back. Even the ones who say they're not coming back, you're going to have to come back. Probably as a gay guy, like I did, and be subjected to all types of degradation and rejection, so you can learn from others' mistakes and your own. Because at that time, I was operating on a lower frequency. I was operating on a lower frequency. At that time in the 1920s, I was operating on a much lower frequency. And I know people are going to say, oh, he's crazy. I'll take that. But I know what I know. Just like I was trying to tell my cousin last night, when I'm older than her and she's trying to tell me something about the family, I'm like, I'm older than you. She keeps trying to tell me what the fuck she thinks. And I'm telling her what I know. I don't want to hear about what you fucking think. Now, I didn't say that to her. But I don't want to hear about what you think. Tell me what you know. I know what I know about myself. And that is how people, and I know I may sound a little arrogant, but this is how you have to be within your spirit and within your own being. You have to know what you know. Pay attention to your dreams, because your dreams are really giving you pieces of the puzzle of who you really are, who you really were, and who you will be, and who you can be. You have to pay attention. That is why I can sit on my throne in confidence and say the things that I say. And that's why it ain't a motherfucker that can touch me. It's not a motherfucker that can touch me. Not one. And if they try, they will die. And that is how you have to walk in this motherfucking world, because we're dealing with such low vibrating people and entities. So positivity is not really positivity. And negativity is not really negativity. It's not about that. It's about the low vibrating energy that lacks spirit, that lacks consciousness. That is what we're really dealing with when we talk about this is a negative energy, or this is a, that's what we're really dealing with. Anyway, everyone have a wonderful, healthy, wealthy day. I know I'm healthy and wealthy, and I wish that for all of the people that truthfully respect me and respond to me, with love and kindness. And if you sent me something and I haven't got back to you yet, don't worry. I operate on spirit. So I'm not going to respond right away. I may wait until spirit gives me the right way to respond to you. Okay? And sometimes that may take a minute. Okay? But anyway, I wish everyone a healthy, happy, wealthy, productive day. And if you like what I'm saying, keep watching. If that's what you want to do. If you don't like what I'm saying, go fuck yourself. Go eat some glass. That's how I feel about you. See? I'm both. I'm negative and I'm positive. I'm both. And you have to be comfortable and you have to be arrogant about that. I don't give a fuck who don't like me. I don't give a fuck who has a problem with me. Because they can't do anything about it anyway. And that is what you have to be in this world, And I say that especially to black women. I say that especially to black women because they want to eradicate the black woman. They want to eradicate black women. And they want to replace black women with people who are not, let's just say, who lack spirit. Who lack spirit. Who lack class. See, having class and spirit goes hand in hand. Who lack dignity, compassion. That's spirit. That's high vibrating spirit. Anyway, that's all I have to say for right now. And one more thing. I may come back with a video about Joe Biden and that person he put at the Department of Energy. Child. It's just certain things you just don't do in public. But that's another story. Anyway, I gotta go. I don't want to talk about that right now. I've talked enough. I gotta go.